Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about a newly shown Hot Toys figure, and this time it is from Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald, Grindelwald himself. So yeah, two new figures were shown last night, both Newt and Grindelwald. I've made a separate video discussing Newt. Now I'm going to be talking about Grindelwald. Grindelwald's the one that I'm much more interested in. I'm just a bigger villains fan in general, and Johnny Depp I do like, and I kind of like Hot Toys' obsession with Johnny Depp. They make so many Johnny Depp figures that almost like makes me want to start a Johnny Depp collection, to be quite honest, from them, just because he's played so many like really diverse roles and very interesting roles and memorable ones, and Hot Toys has captured a lot of those roles in figure form. So it'd be really cool to have like a little shelf just of all of Johnny Depp roles. That would be really neat, actually. But anyway, here's the newest one. Personally, just how I feel about him in the movie. I'm no spoilers, but I felt that there wasn't a whole lot for him to do because the movie was so just crowded, which is disappointing. But I'm still like holding off hope that he's going to have a bigger role in the sequel, and that he will have a really cool scene in the sequel, because I think this character has potential to be like really amazing. Although I didn't like personally see it in this movie, I will say that. But overall, talking about the figure, let's start on that head sculpt. They've done Johnny Depp head sculpts, like I've mentioned, they've done plenty, so I think they have some good practice with it, and therefore this is a really nice head sculpt. I think it's really solid. I like the look of it. He's very serious. This is the type of expression that I would want on a Grindelwald head sculpt. I think that they really nail it. I think it looks good. The hair, I think, looks cool. The eyes, now in the movie, the eyes are like super pronounced as far as their difference, and here they're a little more subtle, which I don't mind, but it is something to notice. It's a little more subtle than in the movie. In the movie, it's just like it's almost distracting how different his eyes are. But here they're certainly different, but they're not super distracting, which is nice. His costume, I think, looks really nice. I think it looks more well tailored than the Newt's costume. Newt's costume looked a little too thick. This one looks really nice. I do like it a lot, and there's a lot more just going on in his costume. A lot more layers to it, and you have some things like attached to here, which I think looks really cool. Here's that vial that's in the movie. I won't say what it is or anything, because it is something that's revealed later on in the movie, but that is the thing that he's kind of like protecting throughout that movie. So I do like to see that you do get it, even though it's not like necessarily shown as an accessory to the figure. And then of course you get the wand. But yeah, overall the figure looks really nice just from the actual figure himself. The exclusive version does come with his bird, which I'm confused about. If you've seen the movie, like, let me know, is this bird ever in the movie? Like, here's the thing, the bird's never with Grindelwald, I know that for sure. There is a bird that's shown in Newt's, like, little pet, sanctuary type of thing, and, I don't know if it's the same bird, but if it is, like, this is supposed to be Grindelwald's bird. My only thought is that possibly in the movie, like, Grindelwald has like a spy, and it's the bird that's spying on Newt, and that's why the one girl who's working for Newt only has that one awkward scene, and then she's never in the movie again. I feel like maybe that was a bigger plot line, and that she kind of discovers that this bird's like a spy or something, and they cut her scenes because the movie's so freaking crowded as it is. So that's the only thing that I can think of as to why the bird would be at Newt's, and yet it's Grindelwald's bird, or maybe that's a different bird, and this is just a bird that he was supposed to have, but he never had. I mean, who knows? I'm gonna see the movie again in just like in a couple hours. I'll be watching it in IMAX, actually. So I'll really look out for this bird now that I specifically know what it looks like. It has little like tentacles on the top of his head. So I'll see if it is actually ever seen in the movie, or if that one in Newt's place is this bird. But this bird actually looks wonderful. Just getting a shot of his accessories. The bird looks really cool. I think they really captured that not cartoonish, but that otherworldly kind of anime or CGI look to it. I really love the little tentacle like leaves on top of his head, and then the if I'm not mistaken, those are like actual feathers. I don't think that they're plastic, which I think looks really cool. So the accessory looks amazing. Like, I'd love for him to have a bird like that in the movie. It's just I don't think he really does. So that's the disappointing part of that accessory. But that is the exclusive accessory with this Grindelwald figure. And then he does come with his skull bond. Like, I didn't understand what that was about either in the movie. Like, there's a lot of things that they did not have time to explain just because the movie was so crowded. I mean, you cut out a couple of characters, easily cut out a couple of characters actually, and you'd have much more runtime to focus on the characters that we actually should care about. But anyway, I don't know if that like gives him power. In my head, what I thought about it is that like that is the skull of somebody who had an Obscurus in him. So he's kind of like sucking up the remainders of that Obscurus power. That's what I would think, although it's really never explained. But anyway, he comes with that. And what's really cool is it does light up. I think that's a nice touch. That's something that is unnecessary, but a really nice touch. And then it comes with your standard selection of hands, and then one hand holding the wand. Like I said in Newt's review, I would have preferred that he comes with that as well as another wand that's just separated. That way, if you want to put it like in a pocket, you could, or you could put it like in his hand, like he's just holding it, like he's admiring it maybe, and not necessarily using it, because now you just have him like in attack positions with it basically. And then my biggest issue with him, and this was my issue with Newt too, is that he doesn't come with any effect pieces. I think that it would have been really easy to do like a little green like swirl effect that's like coming off of his wand that you can attach, or you just put on or not put on, just so that you can show that the wand's like doing something. Because now you just have him like pointing. It's always just like in a threatening position. You can't have it like doing anything, which is disappointing. I think that would have been a really easy way to make the figure a little more dynamic, and it would have been cheap too. I mean, it's just a small little piece of plastic, would have really cost minimal effort on Hot Toys' part, but unfortunately they didn't include it, which is disappointing. So now, if I plan to get this or not, like right now, I'm very much interested, and I could absolutely see myself buying it. However, I think it just might be the time, like right now. I feel like in a couple months, I'll probably definitively decide not to get this, but right now, I'm kind of into it. I'm a little bit on the Johnny Depp kind of kick. I just purchased the Hot Toys Jack Sparrow from the most recent movie. I originally had the DX06, and I absolutely love that thing, but I did sell it just because I didn't have any other figures to go with it. So even though I love the figure, I decided to sell it, and I've always regretted it a little bit. So now I did just purchase the new one. So I've got a Jack Sparrow coming, which I'm really into. I'm really into Harry Potter right now. I don't usually get into Harry Potter very much. I loved it as a kid, but I never bought a whole bunch of merchandise from it before. However, right now, like the Elder Wand, the one that he has, that Dumbledore has in the later films, and then the last film Voldemort has, I did just purchase that, like a really nice version of it from a store. So I'm a little bit on a kick. I feel like even though this doesn't necessarily go with things in my collection, it would go with things in my collection, because like I just mentioned, I have that wand, so I could display him with the wand, and then I would be fine displaying Grindelwald with Jack Sparrow, just again as like that kind of Johnny Depp's characters type of display. That would be really cool. And then maybe eventually I'll get another one of Johnny Depp's roles. They obviously have Sweeney Todd. They have Sleepy Hollow. They had Tonto, and I actually, Sideshow sent me Tonto for free at one point. Just as like a thank you for being a loyal customer type of thing. And I had it. I actually really liked that figure. I did end up selling it though too, just because it wasn't something that was necessary, but it was a really cool figure. And they've done other versions of Johnny Depp, I believe, as well. But who knows? There is a possibility I'll get this one. I'm absolutely not going to get Newt though. I don't need a Newt figure, and I'm just not a fan of the figure. I think that it has issues. You can watch my video to hear my thoughts on that. But Grindelwald here, I would be more interested in for sure. I think the figure just looks a lot better than Newt, just in general. The execution, I think the head sculpt is really spot on, and the costume looks really nice, and I think the accessories are really quite cool. The accessories are really nice on both figures. I will say that. Like, Hot Toys really got the accessories right, other than the like effect pieces for the wand, but other than that, they nail the accessories, which is quite cool. So yeah, overall, I could definitely see myself getting it. Price wise, I would guess that this is going to be like $240, maybe $245. That's my guess. I would hope that it's less than that though. Just the $240 range is kind of the normal range for Hot Toys right now, and they don't strike me as worth that, to be honest. I would much prefer Hot Toys at the rate that they were like a couple years ago, where they're more in the 210s, 220s range. I mean, when I first started collecting Hot Toys, they were like $175. I remember like Hawkeye was cheap. He was like $180, something like that, back then, and now he's like a $250 figure. So like I don't mind the 210, 220 range, but it's when you start breaking to almost 250 that it kind of starts to piss me off. So we'll see the price on him. But again, like if this figure was coming out tomorrow, I probably would get it. But considering it's not going to come out for like 10 months or so, probably by the time it comes out I'm going to decide not to get it, but we'll see. Again, like he didn't do a ton of amazing things in this new movie. However, I think he has potential to do some amazing things and be a really cool character in the future films. I hope that the next one, I believe it's scheduled for 2020. With the way that this one ended, it really should have been a 2019 release. Usually with movies like this that end like that, you know, like usually the sequel should come no longer than a year after, just because they're so closely connected. But yeah, overall, really excited about this figure, and the Newt figure is interesting as well, so feel free to check out that video. Let me know what you guys think of this new Hot Toys Grindelwald figure, and thanks so much for watching.